Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, we're coming right on back. Part two at 3 p.m. today. And we're closing out the 3 p.m. broadcast that was cut amidst that last story there regarding the abuse from the Stand By Me star. We're coming back to close that out correctly. You know, I'm going to tell you something why I always try to do it right. I'll tell you why I always try to do it right. This is part two, by the way, with Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, SNnews, right here at Nicholson Street, Northwest Washington, D.C., the 300 block. Why I always try to do right is because one of my very, very first jobs was with Federal Express Corporation, publishing services there. Yep, I worked in publishing services at Federal Express as a composition specialist, which I helped to write, design, and lay out the airline manuals. 400 or 500 page documents that we laid those documents out. We did it the old school way, and I was actually a composition programmer in that role. But one of the reasons why we try to do things right is because FedEx's motto is do it right the first time. Do it right the first time. And ever since then, I've been trying to do it right every time, the first time. One of the reasons why FedEx gave, or the justification given to us at that time, is because FedEx is an airline. You didn't know that, did you? FedEx is an airline. It's a cargo airline. It's not a commuter airline, but it's an airline. And you have lots and lots of valuable stuff on that aircraft. So you have to do it right, correctly, the first time. Because you may not have another time if that one crashed. For SNnews, I'm Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. We're coming back with part two of the 3 p.m. Broadcast that was live at Nicholson Street, Northwest Washington, D.C., 300 block there. And we were cut in the middle of that story, and we're coming back with the part two of that. This particular programming was produced by Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, managed by Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, directed by Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. The reporting you're hearing is that of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. All voiceovers and voice of this broadcast is that of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford with the face on the cover, that of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. Unmasked, without a mask on. For StreetNOW News, I'm Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. We'll be right on back with you today. One of the benefits of having to bring it to you in a part two is we have more time to bring you more headlines around the world. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that time, we're going to use it wisely. We're going to use that time wisely for you, about you, in mind, as we always do right here at StreetNOW News. That is, I said that is how we love you here. We're going to jump right on back to that news article that came from Yahoo Entertainment, and you're getting it from SNnews, Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, about Jerry O'Connell's reaction to Wil Wheaton's emotional abuse revelation. Wil Wheaton is the Stand By Me star, his co-star in a film, a comedy film that they shared together. And Jerry O'Connell's reaction to that was, I had no idea. Now, in the interview with Yahoo, we're going to repeat this part because we're not sure if it cut us off before we got to this or not. But in the interview with Yahoo Entertainment, Wil Wheaton, last week, who is the Stand By Me star, he revealed the painful childhood that fueled his performances as the troubled Gordon in the 1986 coming-of-age classic there. And the quote-unquote from Wil Wheaton goes like this. Through a combination of an incredible emotional abuse from my father and a lot of manipulation using me from my mother. It really, really put me in that place. Said Wheaton, as he told the Yahoo Entertainment interviewer, noting that his actress mother forced him into a childhood show business career. Now, again, we're reporting on the fact that Jerry O'Connell reacts to that. He says, I had absolutely no idea. Quote unquote. All of that was real. Well, what we want to do here, and we want to find some real good, funny, entertainment, positive news to close out this particular part 2 of the report today that began at 3 p.m. We had to go into a part 2 because we got cut in time, and we're going to close it out. But we want to close it out on a positive note. Want to make you smile here a little bit. Because we here in news, if you do it right, we know how news can bother your heart. We don't want to bother your heart like that. We don't want to make your heart hurt. Even when we're telling the truth, when we're telling you, giving you the news, that's a messenger, we don't want to make your heart hurt. Sometimes it happens anyway. On that note, what we're going to do here at SNnews today on this Friday, May 28th, terry-dwayne-ashford here. Around 3:24 Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C., what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we close out this part 2 of today's headline around the world with something positive. For SNnews, we'll be right on back in a few short moments as we want you to listen to Not a King, Vertigo. And we are right there with 4th District Police again sniping. I guess carrying out ordeals. We're there also. This particular program in here is not live. Part 2 is not live. Therefore, it could be attributed to the wrong person. We're going to make sure upon closing out this particular program, it doesn't go with the police officer that just rode past us here at Nicholson Street down 3rd Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. I'm going to make sure that my dear brother, we are there. We are not live in the part 2. We were live in the part 1. We didn't make a mistake. But on the other hand, you did. No. Again and no, we didn't make a mistake. You, on the other hand, might have. Well, we said we was going to close out on something positive. We don't know how positive this particular story is, but it's a funny one, and we are sorry. Just like I'm going to reference Oprah here. If anyone's ever watched Oprah's show, when she's during her interviews, when she gets ready to ask a hard question or a question that she knows that's probably going to bother this person, she always qualifies that question with something like, I have to ask you this. I have to ask you this, right? Now, I got to, right? I don't mean to bother you, but I got to do what I got to do. I got to, right? And that's what Oprah always does when she's getting ready to light into a person's ass. I'm sorry, a person's. So sorry for all that. Let me get a little music. Maybe it'll keep me in order here for a second. But yeah, when she gets ready to light into a person, like gutting them on air, she always qualifies it with, I have to ask you these questions because everybody want to know. Did you kill her? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you kill her was just a hypothetical response. Did you knock the person in the head like everybody's saying? Because they saying you knocked her out. That's how Oprah did it. And that is also how Terry-Dwayne-Ashford is doing it today. We don't mean to bring you the bad news and all this other stuff, but we have to do what we have to do. And we try to bring you the positive stories to close this out. And I don't think this one is going to be as positive as we wanted it to be. But nevertheless, it's going to be that story that we've chosen to close out for today. It's a story that's coming to us from the Metro section of the New York Post. The Metro section of the New York Post. And the story is entitled, Squeaky Clean. Squeaky Clean. A mouse spotted. Yeah, a mouse was spotted trying the veal in butcher case at New York City Whole Foods. Yeah. Squeaky clean. A mouse spotted trying to veal in butcher case at New York City Whole Foods. Well, you know what? And now, the reason why we bring that story to you is because it's funny in terms of the headlines, if nothing else. That is for real. You're getting your news from SNnews, Terry-Dwayne-Ashford right now on this Friday evening. Let's look at that story. We're going to close out 42 more seconds here. We're going to look at that story and see how funny it really is. A mouse who had the munchies was caught on camera nibbling a piece of high-grade meal inside of a butcher's case at the Manhattan Whole Foods, according to a now viral video in the company. For SNnews, I'm Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, closing out with that today. It is pretty funny, ain't it? That mouse has sneaked in trying to get a snap of some veal. Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, we're closing out right now.